Hello, friends. I'm glad you've joined me today for this deeply personal story, a story about overcoming adversity, about changing my mindset, and about finding a path to financial freedom when all seemed lost. You see, there was a time when I was stuck in a cycle of financial struggle, stuck in a job that drained my energy, and stuck in a mindset that kept me from reaching my true potential. You might wonder, how could losing my job be a good thing? Well, it wasn't in the beginning. Losing my job felt like the universe was pushing me into a corner. I had always believed that getting a good job, climbing the corporate ladder, and living a stable life would be the key to my success. But when I lost that job, I was forced to face the reality I had been avoiding for years. It wasn't just the financial stress. It wasn't just the worry about what people would think. It was the fact that I had built my life around a false belief that my job defined my worth, that security came from an employer, and that money came from working hard for someone else. I needed a shift, and that's when it happened. The first mindset shift I had to make was this: acceptance. I had to accept my reality for what it was. At first, I didn't want to face it. I wanted to hide it. I wanted to pretend like nothing was wrong. I stayed inside, avoided talking about it, and applied for jobs without fully processing what had happened. I felt ashamed. I grew up in a place where people didn't talk about failures, and I didn't want anyone to know that I had fallen short. But the truth is, hiding from the situation only made it worse. It kept me stuck. It wasn't until I allowed myself to fully accept that I had lost my job, that I was in financial turmoil, and that I needed to make a change that things started to shift. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging where you are and making a choice to move forward from there. Once I accepted the situation, the next step was to take full responsibility for where I was in life. I realized that I wasn't a victim of circumstances. I wasn't helpless. In fact, I had more power than I realized. I began to take responsibility for my choices, my decisions, my spending habits, my lack of planning. I stopped blaming others, stopped blaming the economy, and stopped looking for someone else to fix it for me. Instead, I focused on what I could control. This was a game changer. But here's the thing. Taking responsibility also meant that I had to shift my mindset around money. Growing up, I was taught to work hard for a paycheck. Money was something you earned by the hour, by the day, by the week. It was a direct exchange for your time and effort. But as I started to learn more about wealth, I realized that money is a tool that works best when it's aligned with your values, your skills, and your goals. I had to stop thinking about money as something that comes from working a 9-to-5 job and start thinking about it as something that could flow into my life in many ways. This shift took time, but once I embraced it, opportunities started to open up. I started to see investments, side hustles, and creative ways to generate income that I hadn't noticed before. Now, I don't want you to think that this process was quick or easy. No. There were many nights where I felt uncertain. There were moments when I doubted myself, when I wondered if I was on the right path. But I realized that doubt is a part of the process, and staying in the game is what matters most. And that brings me to my third mindset shift: patience. Building financial independence doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. There were setbacks. There were days when things didn't go as planned. But I learned to trust the process and to keep moving forward. I stopped comparing myself to others. I stopped looking at someone else's success and thinking it should be mine. Instead, I focused on my own path, my own progress. I learned that success is not a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and lessons along the way. And while I was learning to be patient, I also had to embrace a growth mindset. What I mean by this is that I stopped viewing challenges as obstacles and started seeing them as opportunities to grow. When things got tough, I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? I surrounded myself with people who were supportive, people who helped me expand my thinking. I sought out mentors, books, and courses that would teach me how to manage money, invest wisely, and think like someone who is financially free. This mindset shift was pivotal. It's what pushed me to keep going, even when I didn't see immediate results. And finally, I had to trust in my vision. I had to visualize what I wanted for my life: financial freedom, stability, and a future where I didn't rely on someone else for my success. I started to picture it, to see it clearly in my mind. And I worked every single day to bring that vision closer to reality. Some days were harder than others, but I never lost sight of the vision. It was my North Star. Today, I'm no longer struggling with the same financial challenges. I've reached a place where I can confidently say that I'm financially independent. But that doesn't mean I've stopped growing. The journey is ongoing, and I continue to apply the same mindset shifts every single day. And here's the most important thing I've learned. You are never truly stuck. No matter where you are in life, no matter how dire your situation may seem, you always have the power to change your circumstances. So, if you're struggling right now, know that this is not the end of your story. This is just the beginning of your transformation. And if I can go from losing everything to creating a life of abundance, so can you. Thank you for joining me today and listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to take control of your financial future and believe in the power of mindset. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving, and keep believing.